Hello, everybody, and welcome to Polymathy Guide. This is the seventh video in our basic Excel series. And in this video, we're going to discuss freezing panes, splitting windows, hiding rows and columns, and then viewing workbooks side by side, um, and just different ways that we can more efficiently scan and search through data sets, so it's not so cumbersome. Let's get into this. So we've got this sheet full of data in front of us, and this again, these are arbitrary names, random dates with random numbers, just to represent some data source that we're conceivably looking through. Now we can see it's quite a few rows. We've got 50 rows. So you can imagine that maybe this is 500 or 50,000 or what have you, and we've got let's see, January 2025 all the way to December 2027. So a few years worth of information. And when we're here in the top left hand corner, and I'll zoom in a little bit for those of you watching perhaps on a phone. And so when we're here in the top left corner and we can see the column headers and we can see the row headers, this is all very good. We can see that, let's see, this is the sales sheet, and we can see that Michael's in April of 2025 had 140 sales. This is no problem. However, as we start to scroll down, we see that we are no longer able to see our column headers. And so we might forget where we're at in time and have to scroll back up and back down and back up. And the same thing exists when we start to go forward in time. We lose that first column, and so we lose the names. And going back and forth is not in any way efficient. And so what we want to do is we want to be able to see these this column and this row no matter where we scroll on our sheet. And so the first thing that we should do is freeze panes. So if we go to the view tab above our ribbon, you see here, just a little bit right of center, is this button, which is freeze panes. There's a little drop down caret, and it gives us a couple options. We can freeze the top row, we can freeze the first column, or we can freeze panes. So freeze top row and freeze first column is as it sounds. If we were to freeze the top row, anywhere we go, that top row stays visible. But if we go left and right, you can see we lose that first column. Uh, Although we can still see that first row. So freezing the top row, freezing the first column, as you would expect it to do. And if we wanted to unfreeze that top row, we would click unfreeze panes, and we go back to just our normal sheet. What we want to do is freeze both the top row and the first column. And so where we need to be on the sheet is we need to select the cell at the intersection of the column and the row that we want to freeze. So in my sheet here, that would be this first cell with sales numbers in it. And so I'll go to freeze panes and I'll click freeze panes. And now you can see that they superimpose a thin black line where the panes are frozen. And so you can see that my top row is frozen. And as I traverse to the right, the first column is frozen. And so that's how we're able to maintain um, an understanding of which row we're on, which column we're on, without having to traverse back and forth. This has essentially uh, is only limited by what's visible on your screen. If I wanted to select this cell and freeze panes, well, then everything above and everything to the left would get frozen. So you can see here, I'm now dealing with really only a very small window of cells that are not frozen. So so that's good. We'll unfreeze. We'll go back to our normal base spreadsheet. Now, let's say as we move through time, these old dates no longer become relevant, but we don't want to get rid of them. So we don't want to delete them. So what we have the option of doing is hiding them. And so if you go into your column header where the letters are and you right click, at the bottom of the menu is a hide and an unhide option. And so we'll select hide, and that column is no longer visible. If we were to select a few columns and right click and hide, we can select multiple columns and hide them all at one time. If at any point we wanted to unhide, we simply need to span that gap, right click, and unhide, and all of our columns become visible again. Okay. Same thing. So let's go ahead and for practice, we'll hide all of 2025 since 2025 is behind us. We'll hide that. All that data is still there. We can still use that data as part of formulas. Um, but we're really only looking at perhaps this month's sales, and I don't know what this may be, projected sales. Who knows? The point is that you can hide. One of the other things that you can do is that you can split. And if you split, split happens similar to freeze panes. Wherever you have your cell selected is where it will split the panes. And so let's go ahead and put it, let's go ahead and put it right in, yeah, right in the middle. Split. Okay. And now, whichever section we're in, it will scroll that section. And same thing, left and right. But what's great is you see that it brings its own column headers and row headers with it. Okay. So we can split to transition across large sets of data. We can freeze panes so that we don't lose the important header information as we're traversing large data sets. If we have two workbooks that we are comparing, we can open both workbooks at the same time. And so if I hover over my Excel icon here in the lower left hand corner, you can see that I have two workbooks open. And if I choose view side by side, now you can see that I have both workbooks open, and we can synchronize scrolling. So as I go down, And maybe it's best if I freeze these panes. There we go. As I scroll down, it's also scrolling down the other workbook. And again, this only works if you select this view side by side. If you don't want synchronized scrolling, then you would simply uh, unselect this synchronized scrolling option here. But again, viewing side by side, this is really great when you're comparing two workbooks for maybe discrepancies or changes or what have you. What else do we have? Let's go ahead. We'll put this one to bed. No, we don't want to save it. In conjunction with hiding and unhiding rows and columns, we have the same ability to hide and unhide sheets. And so maybe sales is something we're okay with everybody seeing. But revenue, maybe revenue is some kind of top secret and we don't necessarily want everybody to see that. If we right click on our sheet tab, you see we have the same option to hide, and unhide is not available because we don't have any sheets hidden. But if we hide revenue, you can see it's gone. And if we tried to select our, let me give me another one here. There we go. Uh, we can see that sales and sheet 3 is available. We don't even see the revenue sheet anymore. So that's a good way to maybe protect some sensitive information. If at any time we wanted to bring it back, we can simply right click the sheet tab and you see now unhide is available. We'll press unhide and it'll ask us which one of the one sheets we want to unhide. That's the one. Okay. But frequently, I will have hidden sheets simply because, in order to make a workbook more efficient, you might have helper sheets or sheets that contain perhaps some lists that you use in data sets, and there's nothing wrong with it. It's just not really value add to have it showing um, in a workbook that is seen by other people. Um, so I'll hide those sheets. It's like the Excel equivalent of sweeping it under the rug a little bit there. So yeah, so that was freezing panes, splitting windows, viewing workbooks side by side, hiding rows, hiding columns, and hiding worksheets. If you found this helpful, I sure do appreciate you sticking around. If you know anybody that could benefit from a video like this or is interested in getting into Excel, and you think this basic course might be beneficial to them, by all means, forward this video along, forward on my channel. I sure would appreciate it. We'll see you in the next one.